I wanted to go to Baylor next because Baylor won the Big 12. They and Oklahoma State played for it. And, I look at Baylor, Ian, and they returned 4 of their 5 offensive linemen from last year. They're going to be, I think several of them are going to be super seniors. They lose Snead, Tyquan Thornton, Josh Fleek, all those guys I think are gone. Tristan Ebner gone, Abram Smith gone. They've lost a lot of production. The vast majority of their production is gone, except at quarterback, where it looks like Jerry Bohannon, or Gary, I guess Bohannon, and Blake Shapen are going to fight for it a little bit this spring. Bohannon, the starter until he got injured. Shapen played really well as a fill-in my opinion. Felt very Colt McCoyish to me. Not necessarily that level of passer, but just control of the offense and understanding what he's trying to do. But the real key on this, outside of the offensive lineman returning and all the production on offense leaving, so there's that juxtaposition. They lose 7 starters on defense, right? Including,
I think that's too high. They lose.
It's either 6 or 7. Terrell Bernard gone, Kalen Barnes gone, Jalen Petrie gone. They're going to have some issues on defense, I think. They're also running through the final grouping, really, of Matt Rule's recruits. And so the depth isn't necessarily going to be there right away because Aranda had some problems recruiting early. Now, obviously, with the portal, things can change. Where are you seeing Baylor right now, and how do you handicap that quarterback position?
Well, I'm with you. It's got to be Shapen to me. Like that guy, the Colt McCoy analogy is really good. He has a really quick release and is accurate, especially throwing underneath, can throw on the move. Gary was you just held your breath. He was throwing the ball against good teams. So I hear that they like Gary a lot and they want to stay with him, but I don't. That would be surprising to me if they made that decision. I don't understand why. Overall, you nailed it, right? Their lines, both their lines look terrific. They returned basically everybody from both lines. They have a really good defensive lineman named Jackson Player coming from Tulsa. Big loss for TCU that they didn't get him. He's like a big end who can rush the passer and stand his ground. Got to replace all the playmakers. They kind of remind me of Iowa State coming out of 2020 and heading into 2021, where they were controlled games. They won a lot of close games last year. I mean, they beat Oklahoma State for the title by inches, right? Inches. A lot of times that can really break hard against you the next year where you're like, well, we have everyone back. We look like we're as good or better. But then those close games don't break the same way for you. It's just how it goes. If you're not winning big, you can't count on winning. And so I kind of wonder if, and on the one hand, they look like a potential Big 12 favorite because their lines look so good and they might have a really good quarterback.
They're the incumbent. I mean, they won it.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of their identity pieces are back, except for the playmakers, just not insignificant. But you just look at their games, and I mean, they were like eking some games out. So I just don't know. I feel like they may be on the outside looking in, unless, if Armani Winfield is as good as a freshman as Xavier Worthy was last year, which probably not, but just if he was, then they're absolutely right back in it. They're probably the favorite. Something like that happens.
Shapen may be the wild card for them.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes out and if he wins it and wins the job, and he comes out, has a tremendous first year as a full-time starter, you're looking at a different offensive animal because they have the power run off the tackle that is so well. I think they're going to have a hard time replacing Abram Smith, even though other running backs will be good. Tristan Ebner. Abram Smith, by the way, reminds me of a guy that, and I want to say this, and I mean this in a positive way. He reminds me of a guy that goes undrafted, and then Mike Shanahan picks up in the undrafted free agent, and he ends up rushing for 1,000 yards as a rookie. He's just so tough, so physical. He will get drafted, I think, though, after the year he had last year.
It's literally the same system. It's the same. So I mean, we might look stupid for not thinking that they won't just plug and play like Shanahan did, but boy, that kid ran hard, you know.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's hard to teach that. All right, Oklahoma State. So what about Baylor, you think, this year? The overall win total. I mean, not necessarily what they're expecting, but what you think are realistic expectations. They may go above it and they may go below it.
I want to say 8-4. I've been underselling Baylor for over a year now, so I might as well. I'll stay there and say 8-4.
Everybody undersold them going into this year. They didn't win many games in 2020.